Hi Aries, welcome to April. This is Teresa from Tarot by T. And before I start your reading, let's go over some astrology. So on the 4th, Mercury moves into Taurus. Then we have a full moon in Libra, which is in your 7th house on April 6th. Venus moves into Gemini on the 12th. We have a new moon solar eclipse in Aries in your 1st house on April 20th. And then Mercury goes retrograde on the 21st in Taurus until May 14th. So let's see what the cards say. We'll get into the astrology later. What does Aries need to know about love and relationships for the month of April? With an eclipse falling in your 7th house, or your 1st house, I should say. Things should be shaken up this month. Let's see. What does Aries need to know about love and relationships for the month of April? And also, happy birthday if you're celebrating in April. What does Aries need to know about love and relationships for the month of April 2023? What is coming up for Aries? The Four of Pentacles, the Page of Wands, the High Priestess, the Tower in the past, the Nine of Wands, the Ace of Cups, the Strength card, the Four of Cups, the Four of Swords, and the Six of Wands. And the card at the bottom of the deck is the Sun. So that's good. And the pollen has been really bad lately, so I'm choking. Okay, so you start out with this 4. You have several 4s, actually, which represent stability in the reading. So the 4 of Pentacles, this is a card about holding on to security, or sometimes it can be, you could be holding on to a relationship because it represents emotional security or some type of financial security for you. It can also represent someone who is too controlling, who you kind of have to relax a little bit and let things flow. So if it's you who's the controlling person, maybe you need to lighten up a little bit. It could, if it's your partner, I don't know. I think it's kind of you, because either you're being too controlling in the relationship, or you're thinking of the relationship in terms of security, like you're afraid to let go of it because it's all you've got, kind of. But you have the Page of Wands here crossing this. This is a message. It's news coming in, and it's usually good news when it's the Page of Wands. So you could be getting a message this month that gives you hope in a relationship. The High Priestess is in the past. So you could be involved with someone that's very spiritual, very intuitive. They know how to read people. Maybe you think very highly of this person. The High Priestess can also represent things hidden, things beneath the surface, and the need to take time out to meditate and listen to that inner voice. So maybe you yourself are even feeling intuitive about this relationship. Maybe you have like an intuitive connection with each other. You kind of and you might either you like know what the other person's thinking and feeling, or you think you know. Now, in the recent past, you had a Tower moment. So this was a card of maybe you had a blow to your ego. You could have had a major battle or fight, maybe possibly a breakup. Because the Tower represents breaking down, like a truth comes out. So it could be something comes up that frees you in some way, because once you know the truth, once you see the truth, you can't unsee it. It could also be a blow to your ego if you've been too confident. Maybe the other person does something shocking, like you think, oh, they'll never leave me, and then they do because of whatever reason. So the Tower, though, it's a wake-up call. And I don't think It's not that much of a disaster, although at the time you may have felt that way. The tower breaks down what's no longer working in our lives so that we can rebuild in a better direction. Sometimes it's a breakdown that's physical, like the ending of a relationship, or it could be a health thing. Other times it's just psychological or emotional. So you may have had some type of emotional awakening or psychological awakening in the recent past about this relationship. And if the relationship broke apart, it's giving you an opportunity to either move in a new direction, find a better connection, or rebuild a current relationship in a better way where you're relating to each other in a better way. And I'm saying there's hope because you have the Sun here and you have the Ace of Cups coming up. So if you're thinking that, oh, it's a disaster, everything, and you're holding on for dear life, it's not a disaster. I feel like there could be a happy ending. And I'll get to the other cards. So this is the Nine of Wands coming up in the future. The Nine of Wands followed by the Ace of Cups, which is in the immediate future. The Nine of Wands, you're kind of like battle weary. You may feel like, I've been struggling with this person for a long time and I'm getting tired. I'm thinking of maybe I should give up. Maybe we can never get things to work out. But the Nine is telling you that you're so close. A lot of people give up just before they're about to succeed. So the message of the Nine is, yes, there might be something that comes up in the future, and you may replay something that happened in the past. Someone from the past may come back. Something you thought you were done with may come back around, and you have to battle it out one more time. But it also means that you're almost near the end of the battle. And especially followed by the Ace of Cups, I feel like you could overcome and you could win. You could overcome the difficulty, whatever it is, in the coming month. And if you give up, of course you're giving up. But if you hang in there, you might be able to turn things around and have a more positive outcome. Especially since you have this Ace of Cups. Excuse me. So the Ace of Cups represents a new seed, a new beginning in love. And that can mean a new love coming in. But it could also mean, I don't know, I see so many victory cards that I almost feel like you're going to reconnect with someone and make it better. But the Ace of Cups can mean a new beginning in love, a new opportunity for love. But it could also represent a new opportunity in an existing relationship, to have a new start. And the key of this card is to go with the flow and not try to control the outcome. So you may have specific ideas or criteria on how things need to work out. Maybe you should just relax in the saddle a little bit and just let things flow naturally. So if you feel this need to control out of a sense of maybe insecurity, it's time to just relax and say, okay, I'm just going to let things happen. Whatever happens, happens. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Take the pressure off. Because I feel like with the Nine of Wands, there's been a lot of pressure. And you need to release from that. There's just too much tension, too much pressure in the relationship. You have the Strength card here in your negative thinking sector. Now, when the Strength comes up, that can mean someone who has been dealing with issues around anger and the release of anger. It could be you, it could be your partner. Learning how to get your needs met without having a major come apart, without becoming, blowing up, one of you might be just going over the top with anger. So you have to learn how to win things with, they say you win more flies with honey than vinegar. If you're like having a major come apart, screaming, yelling to get your needs met, that's not going to work. So you have to take a new approach. And sometimes the Strength card comes up when a counselor would help, talking to someone about your feelings, your anger, learning how to release anger in healthy ways, learning how to get your needs met, how to communicate so that you're not always raging. This is something that could help the relationship. And it's in your negative thinking sector, so maybe you're feeling doubtful that, you can do anything to change things. in your environment, you have the Four of Cups. Now, the Four of Cups can represent your partner's feelings. I feel like someone is feeling bored, feeling underappreciated. I don't think they really want, if you're in a relationship, I don't think your partner wants out, but they are starting to consider other possibilities. They're thinking, well, maybe this isn't going to work. Maybe I need to see look at what else is out there. But a part of them really doesn't want to leave. It's just that I think you're both kind of battle weary, trying to make something work and feeling exhausted. And because there are, your partner has other options, because there's a cup being offered. Four of Cups is mainly a card of dissatisfaction or feeling undervalued. And other people might be offering this person love, but they're not really interested. They're really interested in you, but they're getting tired of the battle. So they might be starting to think, well, maybe this isn't going to work. Maybe I need to look somewhere else for love. You have the Four of Swords. So I feel like there could have been a separation or a timeout between two people where you feel like, maybe we need to take a break from each other and reevaluate how we feel, or just take a rest. Maybe you've been too much together. And how sometimes when two people are together all the time, they don't have a break. They get on each other's nerves, and then arguments happen. Because this is a card of needing to rest, needing to take a time out. And that could help the relationship, because it's like you take time out and you have a chance to think and to heal. This card also represents that this time out period is going to be ending soon, and that you're going to be coming back into the world. You're going to be ready for another round of interaction, either with the same person or with someone new, because you've got this Ace of Cups here. And the outcome is the Six of Wands, which is a victory. So I feel like there's a potential, if you're in a relationship and it's been going through some problems, and maybe you've been separated or you've taken a time out from each other, I feel that there can be victory, because the victory card is here. The Six of Cups is like, you can get what you want. You can have what you want. And the Ace of Cups is an opportunity for a new beginning. The time card for the Ace, though, as a time card, it represents the months of June, July, August. And I would say it's more like maybe mid-July. So you could have a new opportunity to work things out by mid-July. It might even start now, and by the time mid-July comes, you've got things worked out. And for those of you not in a relationship, or you're done, you definitely, like, if the Tower moment was like, no, that's it, it's over, it's the end. I feel like there could be new love coming by midsummer. But there's this page, so I feel like someone's going to reach out to you. You're going to hear from the person, and there's going to be a feeling of hope. And then you have the Sun card, and the Sun is next to the Tower, so I feel like there's hope. I don't feel like it's complete disaster, like everything is over. I think whatever happened to break the relationship and having the time out has given you both a chance to think about what you need in a relationship, what you want, what the problems were. And I think you're ready to come back together and really try again in a better way. Because the Sun is a great card. It says, whatever problems you're experiencing at the time of the reading, you can overcome them. And the Sun, it means connecting with someone that you really like being with. You have fun together. You really enjoy their company. You have good times together. Look at this. You have the two couples. They're just having fun. And here's the little dog, that represents loyalty and truth. So I think you have an opportunity to really connect with someone in a good way and have fun and honor that inner child. If you heed some of the advice in the reading, which is to let go of control, try to go with the flow, try not to get too angry, learn how to control your anger, you can experience the Sun and the Ace of Cups starting this month, because you have the eclipse in your sign, and we'll get to that later. That's a powerful new beginning. You have a chance for a new beginning. So you can set the wheels in motion. End something that's not healthy, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a relationship. It could be the way you relate to someone. It could be an ending of a pattern of behavior or a pattern of relating. And if you could do that, you have this chance for a beautiful new beginning. So let's see what the angels have to say about all of this. What do we need to know? What messages do the angels have for Aries this month? You don't want to wait too long because this Four of Cups energy, you don't want to let something good get away and then cry like, oh, the one that got away. Because this person is getting tired. Okay, courage. Well, Aries knows all about courage. You don't have any problem with courage. Aries is probably the most courageous sign of the zodiac. All the fire signs, but particularly Aries. So, courage. Dare to be different. Dare to make mistakes. Create. For it is in creation that you exist. In this world of dreams that stem from the eternal heart, you are one with all creation. All is possible. Go forth and be true to yourself, for it is only through being true to you that you can be true to others. That's a beautiful statement. It kind of goes with the whole reading. So let's see what's going on with you for astrology. So you have a full moon in Libra, which is in your 7th house, on April 6th. So something is coming to completion or culmination, or something's being revealed at this time in relationships, in a major partnership. Now, you have, the moon is opposing all these planets that you have in your 1st house. So you have the sun in Aries. You have Jupiter. The sun, this moon is conjunct Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet of opportunity and expansion. The sun is also conjunct Chiron. And Chiron is the wounded healer. So you may have some healing to do around relationship. And maybe you finally see it at this full moon, because the full moon brings things to light. It helps us to see what has been hidden. So I feel like you could have some kind of an awakening at this full moon, where you see what needs to be healed within yourself, but you're also getting an opportunity with Jupiter for to do something about it, to have the confidence. Jupiter brings optimism and confidence that you can overcome any problems. But, you know, as always with the full moon, there's an opposition, right? The sun and the moon are in opposition. And so there's always that balance, that delicate balance between my needs, the needs of the ego, and the needs of the other. Because the 1st house is you, what you need, your ego, how you feel about yourself. The 7th house is the house of partnership, the other. And in Libra, it means you have to balance. You have to find that balance and compromise and meet each other halfway and create that win-win. It can't all be your way, or it can't all be the other person's way. It has to be a balance of the energies. At the same time, we have Mercury conjunct the North Node. Mercury's in your 2nd house with the North Node in Taurus. Uranus is there too, but it's not, it's in a later degree. And Venus is in Taurus. Venus and Mercury is moving into Taurus. It was in Aries. It's moving into Taurus on the 4th, but just before this full moon. So Mercury moves from your 1st house, where you might have been really all about communication, into your 2nd house, which is about your money, what you value, your self-worth. So you're doing a lot of thinking. You've got a lot of ideas. How can I bring more security and love? Well, not so much love. Well, Venus is there, so Venus will bring money when Venus enters your 2nd house. It brings money, it brings love. She rules love and money. But Mercury there now, you're getting ideas. How can I make more money? How can I feel more secure within myself? What do I need to communicate? Because Mercury rules communication. It also rules thinking. What are my thoughts about? Maybe I need to rethink how I approach love and money. And with the North Node there, the North Node in Taurus represents, you know, the path you need to go on. And this is about establishing security, not only in the external world, but security within. Feeling secure within yourself. Like, yes, I am lovable. Yes, I am worthy of love. I am worthy of money. So if you've been feeling insecure in any way, this is a good time to really think about what you can do to change how you think about that money and love, and how do I attract love, how do I attract money, and to take action to make yourself feel more secure. And this is great because Mercury is making a great aspect to Mars. It's sextile Mars and it's sextile Saturn. Mars is in your 4th house, so you might have been really active doing things around the house. If you're living with someone, there could have been some arguments in the home. Saturn's in your 12th house, which represents things that are hidden. It represents prisons, hospitals, hidden enemies, but it also represents psychological blockages. So with Saturn there, and Saturn represents karma, and because it's in the 12th house, I feel like you're finishing up old karma, an old karmic cycle, that you have an opportunity to drop any baggage that's been holding you back. Drop any fears or feelings you have around authority figures. Maybe when you were a child, your parents made you feel like not enough, and so you kind of had this feeling of insecurity that you had to do more, you had to try more, whatever I do is not good enough. So, and especially with the 4th house here, 4th is your home, your early childhood. It not only represents your current home, it represents your childhood home. So I feel like that's where the energy has to be this month. You have to work on your childhood family programming, work on your feelings about authority, your own, and how you deal with parents and parental figures and authority figures in your life. So you have to take charge. You have to own your own authority. Start to feel more secure within yourself. So this is a great time to work on those issues. Mercury is squaring Pluto, and Pluto is in the 11th house. That's the house of friendships, people that the groups you belong to. So there could be some power struggles with a friend. You're attracting powerful people. People who can help you to transform. But if you might be resisting their help, or there might be some resistance in the relationship. Maybe you feel like you're being manipulated, or if it's not you, it's the other person. So you have to watch out for manipulation, control issues, bullying, abusing your power. So if it's either you or the other person, that's the square. And especially Mercury square Pluto, you have to watch your style of communication. If you're coming on too strong, you don't have to use a sledgehammer to crack a nut. If you have something to say to someone, you could say it softly. You don't have to yell and scream and create a big drama. Venus is sextile Neptune at the full moon, and that is a beautiful aspect. Venus in the 2nd, Neptune in the 12th. It's very dreamy, romantic. So you can manifest something, especially if you're into any kind of art or creativity. You can maybe even sell, if you're doing some kind of artwork or music or film, whatever you're working on, you can make some money. Neptune in the 12th can bring you inspired ideas, so it's a good time to, take up that paintbrush, get the camera out, play that musical instrument, write that music, that song, because you're channeling. Neptune is like the higher octave of Venus, and they're in harmony, but they're a sextile aspect, which means you have to take action to benefit from it. So you could just sleep your way through it. You can just dream your life away and do nothing. But if you do take action, you could come up with some really creative things right now. Mars in your 4th house is trining Saturn. So you have Mercury sextile Mars and Saturn, and you have Mars trining Saturn. So this is especially a very favorable, usually, Mars and Saturn are the malefics in astrology. But when they're in a positive aspect, they give you the courage and the drive to take action and to make things happen. Now, Mars in Cancer is not very strong. It's weak in Cancer. But Mars in Cancer is concerned about fighting for the underdog, taking care of their family, nurturing, so protecting the people you love. People with Mars in Cancer are especially good at fighting for everyone else, except for themselves. Fighting for a child or someone who's been abused, or someone who is being bullied. They'll come out fighting. When it comes to their own energy or their own lives, they're kind of wimpy. They don't want to fight. But Mars trine Saturn means you can manifest something. You can do the work and make something happen. And Saturn being in your 12th house, it's a good time to work on psychological issues. and family issues, family programming issues. If you're open to it, you can make real progress now with this aspect. And also, Saturn is sextile the North Node in Taurus. So Saturn wants you to feel secure. Saturn wants you to feel confident and worthy of love and money, because the second house doesn't only just rule money. It means what do I need to feel secure? And for most people, it's money, because money buys things. It buys a house and security and food, but there are other things you need for security too. Confidence within yourself, knowing, an inner knowing that whatever you attempt to do, you can be successful at it. Because a lot of people if you're insecure, you're afraid to even try. You're afraid to speak up. You think, oh, no one's going to love me. No one's going to pay me what I'm worth. No one's going to do this or that. So you have to come from a place of confidence. And I feel like you can work on that this month, and you can make great progress. So then we have this new moon solar eclipse, 29 degrees Aries. It's in your first house. What that means is an eclipse can sometimes eclipse a male figure out of your life. But at the 29th degree, it really is telling you have eclipses are endings and new beginnings, sudden developments. It's happening in your first house. And it's conjunct Jupiter and Chiron. Well, Chiron's there. It's not really conjunct. It's kind of a separating aspect. But it's really close. It's still close to Jupiter. So the Sun, the Moon, and Jupiter are in your first house. Powerful energy for a new beginning, to reinvent yourself. And at the 29th degree, it means a cycle is over. You may have to drop. It's like you're ending a cycle of who you thought you were. Who am I? If you've been doing the same thing over and over and not getting anywhere, it's time to do something new. It's time to stop bashing your head against a brick wall. It's time to make a change and reinvent yourself in a way. You have an opportunity to release whatever's not working within yourself. Change your image, because your first house is your physical body, how other people see you. And this moon is sextile Saturn, again, in your 12th house. So I really feel like you can make major psychological strides this month by being willing, not being afraid to confront your psychological blocks. Anything in your psyche, anything that's been hidden. You have an opportunity to see what's been hidden, see where you've been self-sabotaging, and release that behavior once and for all, and recreate yourself, be reborn. Now, Pluto is in the 11th, so there could be someone, a friend, or people around you that are pushing your buttons that you may find difficult. There could be some power struggles, but they're coming from a place of wanting to see you in a healthier place, wanting to see you transform into what they know you can be, into a new you. So once you get through the struggle, I feel like you could wind up in a better place. Mercury's still in your second house. Now, Mercury at this time, at this new moon, is conjunct Uranus and sextile Mars in the 4th house. So there could be some, like I said, a message coming in, sudden, unexpected opportunity. Uranus brings change, sudden. Mercury brings messages, or you could even have a sudden insight within yourself. If you're not hearing from someone suddenly out of the blue, you could suddenly have an awakening, a eureka moment where you know what you want to do. And sextile Mars, you're ready to take action and to work on your home. Maybe you decide to move into a new place, or you decide to fix up your current home. Venus is in your 3rd house. It's squaring Saturn in the 12th. So any problems that you're having around relationships or love have some psychological component to it, some hidden block that you're not seeing. And so it's, because Venus squares Saturn, it's not a very warm and fuzzy aspect. But to overcome it, you need to look realistically at your relationships and communicate from a place of honesty. And, even if what you're saying or what you're hearing is not what you want to hear, it's not pleasant, if you can get through it and do the work, I feel that you can make things positive. Because Venus is also sextiling Chiron, which is the wounded healer. And you've got Chiron in your 1st house. This is a time, I feel like this month is all about healing, psychological healing. Also this month, Mercury is going retrograde in Taurus from the 21st, right after the eclipse, until May 14th. Now, in your second house, Mercury retrograde in your second house, you may be rethinking your financial situation. How do I, approach security and money and my self-esteem? Sometimes Mercury can bring people from the past back into our lives, and you have a second chance to work things out. So it's not so great for starting new things like a new job, but it's great for going back to something and reworking it and making it better the second time around. So that could be a relationship, it could be a financial plan, anything involving second house matters. Working on your self-esteem, working on your resume so that you can get a better paying job, knowing that you're worth it. So this is a good time to do that, to go look back on what you need to tweak and get ready to launch it. If you're going to launch anything, wait till Mercury goes direct in mid-May. But in the meantime, you could be working on yourself and your self-esteem or your financial situation. Maybe there are things in your money situation that you need to take care of. Now's a great time to take care of it. Pay your taxes. Work out whatever it is that you need to work out. That has to do with finances. It would be a great time to do that. Now, I wouldn't be if you're signing a contract during a Mercury retrograde that has to do with money, read the fine print. I'm not saying don't do it, because sometimes you just have to do things and you have no choice. But just read all the details. Don't overlook anything. Let a lawyer check it out before you sign on the dotted line. And if you could postpone anything until mid-May, any signing or any commitments, I would try and do that. If not, just be extra careful, because Mercury can sometimes bring confusion and miscommunication and, snafus. But in the meantime, it's actually a good time for you to work on all these things that I just talked about. So Saturn sextile the North Node wants you to feel secure, wants you to feel worthy, but you have to do the work. And the work that Saturn demands of us is not always easy, but it's always worth it. And Saturn, whatever you developed under a Saturn transit will be in place for a long time. It may not be easy. You may chomp at the bit, but if you can get through it, you can have something that really lasts, something that is stable and valuable for your life. So don't be afraid to work on the areas you need to work on, and to don't be afraid to look at the things that you don't want to look or face. Have that courage to look and release old baggage and karma so that you could be free. You can be free for this new energy coming in, this new energy for love, a new energy for relationship, for happiness and joy. It's all there for you. You can reinvent yourself this month. You can at least get the ball rolling, start. Because this eclipse is a powerful new beginning, and especially connected to Jupiter. Jupiter is the luck planet. It brings abundance and opportunity. So don't waste it. So that's my forecast, Aries. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, click on the like button, click on the subscribe button if you want to hear more about my videos. If you'd like to leave a comment and let me know what's going on in your life, that would be great also. And all these things help support the channel. So if you're enjoying the videos, please help support the channel. Like, subscribe, comment. I love reading all the comments. If you'd like a private reading, you can click on the link in my description box, and it will take you to my website, and that's where we schedule your reading. So click on the link, and it will give you the different options. In the meantime, have a wonderful April. Have a happy birthday if you're celebrating. And I will talk to you again next month. Okay, bye now.